Hi, John Madden, Modular John Madden, in my camper van, parked behind the Stripes convenience store, not the one I was in earlier tonight when I did some TikTok videos on Old Port Isabel Road. I'm up at the intersection of Old Port Isabel Road and Ruben Torres, the same big east-west street where we've been at the Walmart there. And we're in a big hill right behind it, and it's dark out here. We've parked here several times before, and that shade is closed. It's really dark out here and empty, and nice breeze keeps the mosquitoes away. We've parked here back before we abandoned Brownsville. We were here a lot, and we like it here a lot, me and Magic. And Magic's out, I think, just laying outside the van taking in the night. And I'm in here slaving away over TikTok. Now, what's causing that? My fingers. My fingers are getting in the way. I'm fussing with my lighting here. Okay, like that. So, I've been listening to the most recent episode, today's episode of NPR, National Public Radio podcast, called It's Been a Minute. And it looks at all kinds of current issues, not just black stuff. It was, I think, founded by a guy named, It's Been a Minute with somebody's, a black guy who's not apparently there now. It's Brittany Luce, who's the host. And this episode was called Fear, Florida, and the 1619 Project. And it's all about how fear of black people and blackness drives so much of our social policy and always has. One of the things that I'm finding terribly interesting about all this fear of the 1619 Project, which was created in 2019 to celebrate or observe 400 years since the first slave ship got here. And now is a podcast. You can get a podcast. And it's a documentary on Hulu. So put 1619 Project in your Hulu. And it's a documentary series that I might watch the first episode tonight. Sounds great. But all this paranoia by Republicans against teaching the history of slavery in this country under the label of wokeism, that knocks me out. Wokeism. That's personal to me, because when I had my big personal waking up experience, I call it my waking up experience in 2019. Good. In June 26th of 2019. I had an experience where a whole lot of my past dropped away, where I stopped thinking of myself as mentally ill. I really took charge of my life, and I got happy. And it was so powerful and so confusing. I vented to friends that next week about what happened to me. Did I get enlightened? I hate that word. And a friend gave me the definition from The Untethered Soul of enlightenment as unreasonable happiness. You're happy for no reason. And for a guy who had been really unhappy for 30 years, really unhappy, mostly unhappy because I had accepted the label of bipolar and the drugs that went with it, which just flattened me and took away my life force. I woke up. That's the label I've always used, is I woke up. So, isn't it wild? Like, how is it defensible when DeSantis and these other people say wokeism is the enemy? Isn't the obvious comeback, you don't want people to wake up? That's right? You're saying it's bad for people to wake up. And they even said in the episode tonight, yeah, they want people to stay asleep. They want people to stay asleep. And one of the things they traced historically was that there are all these laws against blacks dancing, against blacks drumming. The whole notion of blacks succeeding or feeling good about who they are was terrifying. And feeling good about who I am is what's happened to me. After 30 years of hating myself as damaged goods, I now like myself. I'm really curious about my whole life. I want to go back over all of it and revisit it from the notion of there's nothing wrong with me. And I'm preoccupied with the question of who am I really? If I'm not that damaged goods, who am I really? And spiritual teachers throughout the ages, it's Huxley's perennial philosophy, Aldous Huxley, that we're one, we're connected with everything, that everything is connected. I am part of everything. I am connected with everybody and everything. And of course that's terrifying to Republicans, because the rich always, throughout the centuries in the whole world, pretty much, thrive on breaking people apart. Get the poor people, get the Italians hating the Irish and vice versa, and the Appalachians hating the blacks and the Latinos. You got to keep them separate, because otherwise they're going to get together and have a revolution. They were talking about how devastating was the Haitian Revolution in 1691, 1791, I'm not sure about that. But the Haitian Revolution, led by a slave revolt, started with a slave revolt and then turned into a revolution and turned the country around. That was terrifying. But any idea of blacks feeling good about themselves was terrifying. And my feeling good about myself has made me kind of uppity in ways that not everybody likes. I no longer will accept crap I used to take. Forms of friendship that were okay with me before were enough because I didn't think I deserved more. Now I want more. Forms of conversation, how we do conversation. I have preferences for very participative, very back and forth, not doing the white, traditional white male especially. You sit and take turns. When I'm talking, you don't butt in. No, it doesn't work for me anymore. No, I want us to be talking at once. I want to be able to respond right away when something you do lights me up. And vice versa. I love that. That's what I need. And this is how blacks and Latinos operate, for sure. For sure. So, yeah, waking up. And for me, it includes dancing and music. That wakes up your body. If your head is awake but your body's dead, you're not awake. No, so it includes improvisational movement, the kind that white people mostly do not do. The young people, yeah. White males? I mean, I used to have a sign on my wall that I got from some kind of, it was a very old sign that says, beer, helping white men dance since 1859 or something like that. Because white men can't dance in general. Because they're rigid, because they're trying to comply with the expectations of society that you always look strong. And it's death. It's a kind of death. And in my first year of my 3 years of rambling, first the mountains and now the U.S., the Southwest U.S., I've always been a dancer, but I was dancing all the time. All the time. My body was always moving and still is. And people think I'm drunk because I don't look like white men are supposed to look. They look stiff, you know? And I'm not stiff. I'm like always moving. So waking up. Oh, we're almost to 10 minutes. Yeah. I recommend the episode. I recommend the 1619 Project. I'm going to watch it on... I had a bug on my... Yeah, you bug. What are you... Is that a tick? No, it's some kind of a little bug. It's not a tick. Mosquito. I think it's a mosquito. So the mosquitoes are getting in here in spite of the wind. Yeah, okay. Hallelujah. I don't know how to end this. Yeah, good. Wake up. Whee!